People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, we got something special today, guys, from my hometown in Greene County, Ruckersville, Virginia, to be more specific. We got recording artist, #1 hit single, recently recording artist, Tommy Wood. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, man, thanks a lot for having me on this afternoon or late at night. Musicians stay up late, so we're good.
I had a podcast for next week we just booked, and I said, how about 8 o'clock? And she said, AM, perfect. No. I need to do nighttime, please. She didn't wake up till noon today because we have that 2-year-old twins. So she got up from 5 to 9, and then she slept from 9 to 12. Yeah. So it's entertainers, man. We just
congratulations, by the way, on the twins.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, if they were just, the two, they would just both sleep through the night at the same time, we'd be golden.
Well, my advice is, and you probably already know this, don't blink because they'll be 21 before you know it.
I know it.
How many kids do you have, Tommy?
We got 3. I got an 11-year-old that I'm coaching soccer, travel soccer with now on my days off, and then I have a 21 and a 22-year-old.
Wow. Aww. So we got the twins and we got 11-year-olds. So I feel like I know you, but I don't know you at all. We just keep crossing paths. I don't know. When was the first time you were aware of me, being from Greene County and everything?
Well, I think we probably crossed paths with the fair circuit. Madison County Fair, Greene County when they had a fair, Albemarle County. I've played just about every fair in Virginia. So I think that's where I've seen your name up on the marquee. I never had a chance to stop by and see your show because I'm always on the stage.
Yeah.
We're the same way. I was telling a friend of mine today, check out the podcast tomorrow, dude. You like country music, you're going to love this guy. And he's like, well, you guys are on the same bill all the time. How much do you hang out? You don't. You go in, do your job, and go to the next gig.
Yeah.
So you get to set up and play music all night long. I'm there for 45 minutes and I'm to the next gig. So
yeah.
So how'd you get started in music, man? Was it something, were you in chorus class in school?
Well, no, I'm gonna dial it on back to when I was like 5 years old. I just had this love of listening to my mom's stereo. She had a nice wooden stereo cabinet with the sliding doors that you open up the speakers, and she would always spin them Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, George Jones, Merle Haggard, Mo Bandy, Charlie Pride. The list goes on and on. I just fell in love with that sound, and it just kind of intrigued me. So I tell everybody that's how I cut my teeth on country music. But really how that happened was I was being mean one day, and my mom took that away from me. So I retaliated by lifting up the wooden thing and bit my teeth right down on the wooden stereo cabinet.
Oh, no.
So I left my mark, and so she gave me the stereo cabinet. So I have it as a memorabilia. So that's kind of how I got started, just listening. And then I got into school and start in the drumming. I started as a drummer, and then all through high school, I was completely into the music business, and then it just kind of evolved after that. So
now, did you go to William Monroe as well?
You went to William Monroe, and under the direction of Gary Stein, he was the band leader. So I wasn't on the football field. I was mainly in the stands doing the band stuff,
Right.
lot safer.
That's all right.
Yeah.
and your head injuries.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about head injuries. No.
No CTE in band, man. No.
Just maybe lose my hearing for the loud noise. Maybe, I don't know.
That's all right. They can fix that. That's easier to fix than CTE.
That's true. You just pop in some hearing aids. Good to go.
But when I was 17, that's when I really got my first band opportunity. I had somebody call me to be in a band, and I was drumming. Didn't think anything about singing or writing music at the time. I just wanted to be in a band. I was 17, young and just ready to hit the road. So I did that for a year, and then I wasn't happy. I just was unsettled. I wanted my own band. So then I left that band, formed my own band, did that for 4 or 5 years, and I still wasn't, I wasn't excited about what I was doing till I met this guy in Richmond. I was playing a club one night in Richmond, and he was from Nashville. He was a piano player. And he told me I needed to trade my drumsticks for a guitar pick and get up front and start singing, because he said I was a great singer. Good drummer too, but they need to see me up front. So I waited another year after that, and I transformed into fronting my band, and the rest is history.
Wow. How many people is in your band now?
I have 5. Well, it depends. I usually travel with a 5-piece band, but I am playing with a 12-piece band out of Charlottesville called Big Ray and the Cool Cats. And
Okay.
we do a lot. You're probably
We've worked
raking
with them.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we play everywhere, Pennsylvania, Carolinas, Tennessee, Kentucky.
So do you split the bill with them? Like Big Ray will do some numbers and you do some numbers, or is it they are backing you up?
Well, they'll pull me on to do specials. They'll bring me in as a Nashville recording artist, and I'll get up and sing a few songs, and then I'm off. So I'll do 4 or 5 songs a night. Pretty much what I do.
Well, Ray Cardell, he is a realtor, correct?
Yes.
But we've done like millionaire shows locally within 100 miles, and you'll see him show up. I mean, people love that big band sound with Ray Cardell at those, especially those gala events, man. Yeah, so he's doing really good with that.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, and somebody told me to call him about 5 years ago, and when I called him up, he said, "Tommy, I don't know what to do with you because I don't know nothing about country." Then all of a sudden, he started getting requests for country. So he called me up and said, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's get a cup of coffee. I know you got your own band thing, but you can still probably make that work. But I want to pull you in and use you some." So that's how that got started. And then he saw how the crowd was reacting to me. So then he was like, "I want to pull you on full time." So I do a lot of stuff with him.
wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So mostly full time with him, and then in between when I'm not with him, I'm booking my own stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that was another question I had. Do you do most of your own booking, or do you have agents that call you out as well?
Well, it's kind of both. Ray acts as my agent. He'll call me up and say, "Hey, the Homestead wants you for the weekend for a solo or whatever gig, country gig with a full band," and he'll send me wherever if he gets a call for just country. Then I get a lot of stuff online. I'm on some online sites that I get requests all the time. The problem is I'm booked most time, but when they come in, I'm already booked doing something. So, which is a good thing.
Right. Absolutely.
I hate it. I want to do them all. It kills me when she has to turn them down because you can't do it. And can they change the date? Can that show change the time a little bit to make that one? I want to do them all, man.
No, you can't.
That's just the way it is. If you love what you're doing, though.
Yeah.
I got a call today, Bristol, Virginia, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. And I'm just like, I'm trying to juggle, but it probably won't be able to do it. So.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yep. Sometimes you just can't make them all. But, we always do the first come, first serve thing. So if somebody's already booked, no matter if it's a bigger gig that wants us, it's like, well, we've already signed a contract with this one. We can't go back. I know there's people that drop the smaller gigs for the bigger gigs, but I don't know. We just try and be fair. They booked first.
It's an ethical thing, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to upset
me. Same way. If somebody books me, then I'm going to do the venue. I don't care if somebody pays me more for another gig. I'm still going to be, to the gig that I originally booked.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You have to show your loyalty. And I think that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you end up getting more shows because they know they can count on you too. So,
absolutely.
All right. So we got you into about 17 years old. You're fronting your own band. And what was the band called? Did you have a cool name for it?
Well, we started out with Crossfire was the name. We had a huge banner with crossing guns and stuff. And then after that, I figured I kind of disbanded that band and formed up with some new members. And we called it Night Shift, NITESHIFT, because we work at night, like a night shift.
Okay.
So we were playing a lot of clubs, and back then the clubs, 90s, the clubs was hot, and then all of a sudden that went away. So we had to reinvent how we go out and play, more fairs and festivals, and since the drinking laws changed in Virginia with more stricter, which I'm all for it. I don't want to be driving it on the road and having somebody running me off the road late at night, when I'm traveling. But the no smoking in the clubs, changed everything. Now it's like vineyards, wineries, breweries, and it's more family oriented that we play. Now it's a lot more better atmosphere. So
tell me about, I know about the smoking, but what was the drinking laws? What changed with the drinking laws? They're just stricter about how many you can have?
I think the value of being intoxicated, I guess, whatever level there is. I'm not too familiar with it, other than I heard you drank one drink and maybe you could be intoxicated where they can pull you over for DUI if you're not a big person. So,
Okay.
So whatever the point something that I'm not sure exactly.
So you're talking about that with the cops. I thought you meant there was a law with like how much they serve you at the place, or that changed or something.
No, more so the cops, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
They pull you over. You know. And I can't tell you how late at night I'd be going home or coming from a venue and somebody's driving on the wrong side of the road. It's terrible.
Oh, wow.
You know.
I mean, yeah, we're coming home at 2, 3 in the morning, and the RV and the trailer, and people just flying by us, and it's like we're doing the speed limit. We're doing 5 over the speed limit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then I'm in the RV, and people are passing me on double lane roads, on back roads, and it's like we almost had a wreck the other day.
Oh yeah, the guy went around us and he wasn't supposed to because it was solid lines, and he went around and there was a truck coming. That truck like went off the road. Woo! It was a close one.
Natalie and I talked about it for a while because we're like, that truck had nothing to do with our situation and that guy's, but it messed up that dude's day too because he probably had to change his underwear because it was bad.
Oh my God! Yeah.
But nobody likes you to merge in an RV. They don't. I'm pulling a trailer with an RV, so they think I'm going slow. I can go speed limit. Just give me a chance. Watch, I can do it. Yeah,
Just gotta get there first.
Absolutely.
It's not Grandpa driving it. It's me.
Yeah.
So what are you pulling? How much equipment do you have to carry?
Well, I've gotten smarter since I've gotten older. So when I book a show, I contract my sound out, so I don't have to touch it. So it's there when I get there, and it's set up. And when I'm done, I leave. I don't mess with sound equipment anymore. And with Big Ray, he does the same thing. He's got a sound guy, Pete Katz. He takes care. They got a truck and everything, all there. So we just show up and play and leave. So
Nice.
that's just a lot better than it used to be. I was hauling all, trail. I had a tour bus at one time. I did have a record contract out of Florida, and that didn't work out too well, just because it wasn't making a lot of money. So I decided to part ways pretty quickly. But I had a 97 Eagle for about 7-8 years, and we drove that around. But then again, you break down. I'd break down going to a show, and what do? You
sit on the side of the road waiting to get picked up, and it takes forever.
It does. So I was late at a show one time because we broke down going across 33, the mountain over here. And we had to sit there and wait and unload the equipment onto another vehicle to get it to the venue and set it up. And it was terrifying. So I just try to be smarter to just contract it out. Then I don't have to worry about it.
Well, that's awesome.
That's
man.
nice. Yeah, that's great.
So tell me about the record business nowadays. We're all over the place. But you said you had a record deal, but it wasn't. The whole record industry changed. Everybody knows that. It's not what it used to be. And I hear people on TikTok saying, oh, I'm independent and it's even better. And look, I'm top Billboard charts, but they try to hide it because I'm independent. And it's just weird. It's a loophole, but I got more plays than these people, but it's a game you got to play.
It's definitely different.
What do you think about the indie thing? Yeah.
Well, I like being independent. For one, I can control what I write and what I record. And me being a Christian man, and I like to write good material. And so if I'm in a record company, although it's kind of a catch-22, but still, I think I'd be butting heads with the record company if they were making me record or sing something I didn't believe in. Today's music ain't like it used to be. I mean, I'm still more the traditional country artist like Alan Jackson style music, Brad Paisley, but today's music is just a little pop for me. And I'm getting plays all over the world, like I say, from Canada to overseas. It just don't pay a lot of money streaming. That's what everybody's screaming about. That the streaming money that for the songwriters, we're not getting paid a lot of money for it. So in some cases, it's like 0.001 per stream. So if you add that up, it ain't a lot of money.
No.
So. But the good thing is we're approaching some streams over 100,000. So we're starting to get a little bit of money, but not a whole lot. And it all depends on if an ad is played maybe before a song's on or something, then we'll get more money that way. And we own all the digital platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Deezer, Pandora, every platform out there. And it's all through my record company, which is Roland Hay Records through CD Baby. And they distributed my music worldwide. So they can download it or stream it. So pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have 6 albums out.
I do have 6 out. I have 6 albums and an EP, and I'll kind of backtrack on my records. Back in 1998, when we were doing a lot of openings for like Tracy Byrd was the first national artist I opened for in '97. And I was still drumming, and that's when I made my transition in '98. I wrote a 6-song EP locally with my band in Newport News, and we had a reel-to-reel tape machine, and that happened to get burned up in the fire, so we lost our masters on that. But it was a cool experience to experience that first shot of writing. But when I got to Nashville in 2001, I learned a whole lot. I got to work with Dwayne Phillips, who was at the time George Jones's lead guitar player. We became friends. He brought me in the studio, and then we dropped my first Nashville project, and I got 2 #1 singles off of that on independent radio. So it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So how does independent radio work? What is
Well,
independent radio?
Well, they have a radio promoters who promote to different genres. Like I had one of the charts was indie world, I think, and indie music or something. So they go around and promote all these songs, and I guess if these radio stations are playing, they'll call the radio station and say, hey, how many spins did Tommy Wood get this week on his song I Tripped Over Your Memory? And they'll say, well, we gave him 15. So they log all this data down and compile it into a chart, and I happened to get a #1 on two of the charts.
Nice.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So that I was excited about that, but it still wasn't excited because I wasn't writing the music. I was getting pitched songs. I wrote the first project, and it probably wasn't the best, but then I had these songwriters pitching me these songs that I really liked, but then I felt like I wasn't coming in full circle as an artist because I wanted to write my own story. I wanted to tell my own songs. So I got blessed in the middle of around 2005. I hooked up with Philip David Harris. He's a songwriter out of Steele, Alabama. And I met him, and he pitched me a song called Piece by Piece, and I recorded that. We become friends. And then finally around 2017, 2018, we started writing like crazy. And I put out three records. So I had four albums in 5 years. In 2017, I had a Christmas album, and then 3 country records right after that. So we're pretty excited.
Yeah.
Was your Christmas album, did it have original music in that as well, or was it all just covers?
Well, we have written some Christmas music we have not, that's going to be on the next record that we're working on now. That one didn't, because I wanted it called Christmas Memories of songs that I grew up as a child, like Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy and all that, the cool tunes, that the country stuff. And then my youngest daughter, who was 5 at the time, she sang Away in the Manger on there.
Oh, that is sweet.
That's priceless, dude.
Yeah.
That is priceless.
So she just has an incredible voice, and I'm hoping she will follow my footsteps, and I'd be happy to step back and let her step into that spotlight, because she can sing unbelievable. And she sang a song called The First Noel that's going to be on the next Christmas record a couple years ago, and it's amazing.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That is so fun.
Do you have a music video with her or anything? Do you have any video or anything?
I think there's some YouTube links out there, her singing it live. I have to, dig it up. It's so hard to keep up with all these these links and stuff, and I'm doing it myself. But yeah, I have a YouTube page. It should be on there, a YouTube link that shows all my videos and different things I've done.
I'm gonna steal them and throw them in that Facebook group for the podcast here, because I want people to see that. I want to see it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You should write.
We were playing down at Bootville. Y'all know where Bootville is in Rutgers?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we did a CD release party there, and that's when she sang live there. So that should be on the YouTube. I'll try to get you the link to it.
Cool. You should write a song just for the two of you and do a father-daughter duet. I think that would be awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. We got some ideas rolling, and
good.
I can't wait to get back on this. We wanted to finish the Christmas record last July, and you know how it is when July comes. Like, I got plenty of time. Next thing it snuck up on us. So we did get half the record done, but we didn't finish the whole thing. So
you were talking about today's country music's too poppy for you. We have Sirius Radio on the road that we listen to all the time. Nowadays, I listen to 90% podcasts because I'm learning something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we listen to the radio, it's Christmas time. Definitely, we have Christmas music on. But when we listen to Sirius Radio, it's usually prom country. It's 80s and 90s on Sirius Radio. We stopped listening after the 90s, dude. We don't know any of the new stuff. I won't be able to sing along to anything.
Except for Carrie Underwood. I do like her.
You follow her still?
I like her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to sing along too much, but I do like her songs.
But on your bio, you worked with Trace Adkins.
Yeah.
And you were done. You were booked on this podcast just because you touched him, got near him. That's all she needed to hear.
Well, it was pretty cool.
Crush.
Yeah, Trace Adkins, he was really cool. I had my bus at the time, and we pulled up at the venue, and he come outside, and he had his overalls on and a grease gun, and I come up to him, introduced myself to him. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "don't you got somebody to do this for you?" He said, "No," because he said, "If I don't do it, it won't get done right."
There you go.
So, but he was a lot of fun to be on the show with.
That was one of her questions. She was like, "Please don't hurt my heart. Is he nice? Is he awesome?"
Yeah, he seems like, when you see him in interviews and different things, he seems like a really cool guy. But that can, people meet their celebrity crushes, their celebrity people they look up to, and their bubble just gets burst. And I'm like, I really hope my bubble doesn't get burst. I really hope. So that's awesome.
Yeah, Trace was he was great. He was really awesome, and he's tall.
Yeah.
6'6" or 6'7", something like that.
Oh wow.
big guy, yeah. But probably one of my most memorable artists I opened for was Josh Grayson. He was one of the I think 4 finalists on the American Idol. Mm-hmm. And we got paired up with him to do a show, and we got together at I think it was in Lynchburg at Catalani's, the old club there, and we talked about he wanted to play football with my band. So I said, well, let's do it. And he said, well, you get up there and do your sound check. We've already sound checked, so we can get up and play some football before the show. So he it was funny because we in the middle of sound check, and it was another act. I can't remember their name, and I wouldn't want to announce anyway. But they were really mad that we were on stage doing our sound check, because they were like, "Well, we're supposed to go next." And so Josh stepped in on our behalf and said, "Hey, y'all were late, so he's going to finish his sound check, and then we got stuff to do." So it was kind of nice. He stuck up for us.
Yeah, nice.
With magic and music, it's hard because they don't book those county fairs right. And if we're sharing the stage, you guys need a lot of time to set up and get all that sound equipment. But give me 5 minutes to get off the stage. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's such a, and yeah. I want to get along with them, but some of them just want to they think they're more important than, don't put your stuff on my stage yet. It's my stage until I'm off, man. And
we usually try and just take our stuff and don't even pack it, just move it off stage. But even doing that real quick, sometimes it's not enough, but not always. There's been quite a few that are very nice.
Yeah. I want it to be a brotherhood, man. We're all entertainers. Let's all get along. But
that's right.
They're like, dude, we have to be on in 6 hours. Yeah, you have to be on in 6. Give me 5 minutes, man. Let me get off the stage.
Absolutely, and we're the most get along. And we get along with everybody. I mean, we just kind of down to earth, and we have a good time. And every national artist that we've been with, I did get to spend 3 months on the road with Little Texas, and they were a hoot. I mean, Porter and them guys, they treated me really nice, and they were pretty cool. So
wow. So what was the Trace Adkins? Did you just work with him for a week, or was it a tour? What was it?
Yeah, it was a weekend, and then of course then we on to the next thing. We one national this week, and then with somebody else, and so it's never like a 3-month tour with the same person. I would love that. That would be awesome, because I know that happens more on the national level when the record labels put that stuff together. So it's a lot harder for me as an independent to get on a 2 or 3-month tour with them.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. Let's figure it out. We gotta figure it out.
We could call Trace up now. We'll find his number and call him up. Hey, man.
There you go. We'll Google it.
Google. I'm sure it's listed.
So you have a writing partner. How much do you think have you written songs completely on your own, or you always work with a partner?
I've written some on my own, but I like writing with Philip because we're so much alike. And it's so funny. I was playing this venue, and this lady come up to me, and she said, "Tommy," I said, "why don't you play me one of them beer drinking songs?" She said, "I don't drink, but I love the way they sound." And that stuck in my mind for the longest time. So I called Philip up when we got to writing these songs. I said, "Hey, this is what happened to me. Let's make a song out of it." 2 days later, we had a song called "I Don't Drink, But I Love Those Drinking Songs."
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
really
great.
cool how that works out.
So that's pretty, and we use all the players I use now, because I met so many musicians in Nashville when I become friends with a lot of them. We use Alan Jackson steel player now because the other guy that we was using, he passed away during COVID, which, you know, COVID hurt everybody. I'm sure it hurt you guys. It hurt us. And we lost a lot of people, you know, during that time. So just a sad time for us, but we ended up using Alan Jackson steel player, become friends with him, and now he's stepped aboard to help us out. We got Reba McEntire's drumming for us now on our records, and then Bobby McKee's our lead guitar player, and Robbie Meta's, you know, over in Luray at Cooters, he's our bass player for the record, and he mixes and produces with me on my albums. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned another one of her favorites, Reba McEntire. She is a Reba McEntire freak over here.
I do like Reba McEntire.
Well,
you know that she's coming to John Paul Jones Arena on the 11th
of March.
Yeah, this weekend, this coming Saturday.
We have shows.
Well, you know, this is the only weekend I don't have a show. So I called up Garth Justice, my drummer, and I said, "Hey, man, what's the chance you can land me some tickets to the Reba show? I want to hang out with you guys." So he hooked me up. So I'll be going out there hanging out with everybody. So.
Oh, nice. I'm so jealous.
Send us a picture
of
you backstage, and we'll put that on the podcast group. We'll live through you.
I'll get something.
Yeah.
I would tell her I love her so much. I would send her out there with you. Just put her in the cheap seat somewhere. Take care of her. But we have illusions. Who am I going to stick in boxes? That's the only thing. It's a big show this weekend. If it was a smaller show, I'd say she's calling a sick day. But it's a big show this weekend.
Oh, you would?
I would.
You're so
for
sweet.
Reba, for yeah. I'd even do it for your man crush there, Trace Adkins.
Yeah?
I'd do it for him too.
Oh, that's sweet.
Because I trust you.
Yeah.
So you are going to the show. Did you get your tickets? Did you get it all taken care of?
Yeah, everything's taken care of. I just got to pick them up. I got to go out there and pick them up. But yeah, I got the confirmation. He sent me something. I just got to show him when I get out there. So. Nice.
Well, have fun.
We had a chance to go out because again, when you're in the business as well as you guys, you know, you meet a lot of people. And I know you know, Dave Fowler, Scott Fowler, who was a guitar tech for Miranda Lambert. So when she came to town, and they all know me, so they'll call me and say, "Hey, we come to town and come out to the show," and you know, and it's an honor that they will invite us to come out to get in with them and hang out. They just need to get me up stage and let me play. That'd be cool.
Well, that's another thing. I go to a magician show and I don't know how to act because I'm used to being on stage. So do I clap too loud, like I'm trying to help them out, or do I just? I feel like people are looking at me, so it's like, Rrr. But yeah, I mean, I think we're at the same level in the entertainment where we're not Vegas headliners, we're not Nashville superstars, but we know everybody. So we get tickets to shows and we get to meet our idols and people that we grew up listening to and loving. And it's a good place to be, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I had my most honor to hang out with George Jones, and before he passed away, about 3 or 4 years before he passed away, we were making trips to Nashville, and I was invited to his home where I sang twice there, and Georgette was there, one of his daughters, and it was very nice. And his George's wife Nancy, who really liked me, and she would always come up and hug me and invite me for dinner and stuff. So she, you know, when George passed away, it was very sad time.
Wow. So what other idols have you got to meet? Your music idols?
Well, George was certainly one of them. He was a big one because that's what I listened to. I never did get to meet Conway Twitty or Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn just passed away, and I would have loved to have met her because that was what I really listened to in the early days. And of course, Tammy Wynette was another one I never got to meet. But you know, Alan Jackson, all them guys. I love the 90s artists. I think that's the best era of country. As you mentioned, the Sirius XM Prime Country, that's where my dial is too, because that suits me. And and everything you hear of my music sounds like that 90s era of music. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So if people are trying to get your CDs, do you have CDs anymore? Is it all digital? I mean, how do you order a digital song nowadays?
Well, It's funny that you said it. I got a new truck recently and there's no CD player in it. So it's like, okay, what's up with that? So everything is going digitally. The CDs eventually going to go away, which is a sad thing for us because that's what we sell at our shows. That's where we make a lot of money, you know. So it's mostly just digital thing. You go out and download it to your phone, or you plan it off your Spotify account. Which
Okay.
when you get in your vehicle, your phone connects to your vehicle, and then you hit your Spotify, and you got a playlist, and that's where you play it off of.
So if I just find your music on Spotify, you're getting paid?
Yes, every time I get spend on Spotify, I'll get paid. Yep.
All right. So I don't have to download your whole album. I just find you on Spotify and just keep typing your name.
Yeah, and I got my latest 2 country records is one called This Country Life, where we had a song on there called I'll Stand for the Flag, a very patriotic song that me and Philip wrote in honor of our veterans. We feel real, patriotic, want to dedicate and thank them for everything they've done for this country. And we get to do what we do because of what they done. That's what I try to say. So
100%. Yeah.
So we wrote that song and that ended up a top 5 on one of the indie charts in Nashville. We was pretty excited to. We thought maybe number 1, but it didn't quite get there. But
Hey, top 5's not bad.
That's not
Top
bad
5's
at all.
Not bad at all.
Tell that 17-year-old I only got the top 5. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So here's something I'm telling you personal about me. I love country music. Driving down the road, you got to think. Sometimes we're driving 20 hours to get to a show because why get a hotel? I'm almost home, and we'll take turns driving when it's nothing dangerous, but long hours on the road. And a country song will hit me, and she'll be asleep, and I'll just start crying.
Yeah.
But those patriotic songs, and I can't think of any of them right now, but there's talk about the Twin Towers and the guy talking about Osama bin Laden and all that. I'll get all teary-eyed, dude, because I get all my emotions are down when I'm after a show's over, my adrenaline's gone, and I'm just driving, just seeing that little white line just passing me, man. It's whoo, it gets me. It gets me.
Yeah, old Daryl Worley, Have You Forgotten? That's a great song.
Yeah.
We need to remember them things because I think we let our guard down. The United States did. It should never happen. The Twin Towers should never got bombed the way they did by them planes. But anyway, hopefully they're watching out that we don't have nothing like that happen again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to check out your Stand for the Flag song, but I'm not going to do it at 4 a.m. I'm going to do it
when you get up,
so I can feel a little more manly. So I'm not sobbing going down the road.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh man.
Another thing I'm involved in that's pretty exciting that there's an independent country music award show in Nashville called the Josie Music Award Show, and it's probably one of the biggest independent shows for people like myself, next to the CMAs where the national guys go, and it's now being held at the Grand Ole Opry. So we're starting to make a little headway. So I submit my music. I submitted 2 of my records, and so far we've gotten 6 nominations. We hadn't won anything, but we've been nominated out of over 35,000 people that entered.
Wow.
So it's an honor. It's a win-win for me, because to be nominated out of that many people. And this year it's even going to be even bigger. So we're going to submit the new record 523 for, hopefully we get nominated for that. Maybe single or album of the year or whatnot, but it's going to be a great honor. Even if we don't get nominated, at least we're getting looked at by a panel of judges in Nashville that are seeing this stuff that we created and coming back to say, hey, it's great stuff. So
Very cool.
Dude, that's awesome. Is the Grand Ole Opry, what did they build new out there? Isn't one of the buildings like...
There's the Ryman Theater, which is the original Grand Ole Opry, and then they have a new one, that I think they're just calling the Grand Ole Opry.
So
yeah,
the new one or the Ryman?
Well, the Ryman is the mother church of country music. That's downtown. But the one we'll be at be the Grand Ole Opry up on Briley Parkway. That's the new building. And that's where most of the Opry shows are.
Yeah. We toured both of them. We checked out both of them.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm a member of the Fellowship of Christian Magicians, and they hired me to headline one of their conventions in Nashville. And we stayed for another 4 days down there and checked it all out. Nashville's a fun town, man.
It is.
I was just telling a buddy of mine came to my house the other day. He said he'd never been to Nashville. I said, look, there's a building here, and there's a brick wall, and another building right here, and 2 bands playing. And if there wasn't a brick wall, their backs would be touching. I mean, and you could see it from the storefronts out front. It's
all
music everywhere, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well,
And the
that's
mall
changed.
had busking.
Well, Nashville, even that has changed since the earlier 90s. You know, we were doing a lot of the fanfare stuff there. We would go there and we were being sponsored by Yamaha. We got sponsored by Grease Lightning one time, the cleaning agent. And we were getting invited to come into the convention center and set up a booth. And we had the sponsorships and stuff. And we started getting these long lines. And eventually they shut us down and wouldn't let us come back because we were just, I had lines out and we just signed autographs and whatever. But, you know, they didn't want that to happen. They didn't want no independent guy coming there and show anybody up, you know. So
That's
so
not cool.
So we tried to get back in the next year, and it was like, nah, you know, they wouldn't let us back.
You're too much of a draw. How is that a bad thing?
Yeah,
Bring
well,
people in. That's ridiculous.
yeah, it don't make any sense. But again, it's all in who you know. They want to control it, the big companies and stuff. And I understand that, I guess, you know. But
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. That don't make sense. You think they'd want that?
They
Wow.
should have given you an offer. You have
Yeah,
that
exactly.
back of a following.
and say I'll stay there, kind of like Garth Brooks. You know, I'll stay there the whole. If I got a line, I'll sign every autograph until the last one comes through the line.
Absolutely.
And we were doing that. We had just tons and tons of people coming through. So
That's pretty cool.
Wow. That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. So, in all those years, what is like one tip for magicians, entertainers working outside those county fairs, 110-degree days, man? What's an outside performance tip for you? You got one?
well, for me, hydration. You got to drink a lot of water and just stay rested and not to be as a singer. And even you got to talk your part. You don't have a sore throat and you have laryngitis, you won't be able to do your magic trick. But so for me, I have to stay rested and try not to talk and get lots of water. So
Have you ever heard the tip about Vaseline on your eyebrows so the sweat don't go in your eye? Have you ever tried that? You ever heard of that one?
I've never heard of that. That's something new for me.
Hey, if you've ever had that, you playing the guitar or doing a magic trick and it burns. I've never tried it, but it's in the back of my mind. I want to. Yeah, I want to do it one day. I don't know. So what's the craziest thing that's happened to you on the road? I'm sure you got some crazy stories. You've probably seen crazy drunk people in the crowd. You've had to have seen some crazy stuff in the bars and the.
Yeah, early on in the bar scene, it was real crazy. You know, they laid out drunk in the bathroom and throwed up all over the place. It's kind of nasty. I mean, just disgusting. But some of the funnier experiences, I'd be up on stage and some lady would take an undergarment and throw it up at me and it land on my mic stand. So that was, you know.
That's show business. That's what it's all about. That's better than a paycheck. That's awesome. Do you still have them? Is it hanging from your ceiling fan now?
No, I don't think I did. Maybe I should have saved it and auctioned it off. Maybe.
That's a show souvenir right there. Nobody ever did that for a magic show. Never once.
Man. Maybe you should hold a guitar while you're doing your magic trick.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I don't know. What else? Tell me another funny story about being on the road. It's gotta be some fun stories.
Well, you know, we toured from Virginia through all the way to New Mexico, and that was I don't know, it wasn't a funny experience for me because when I got out to New Mexico, the air temperature out there is a lot different than here, and it made me automatically get a sinus infection. I was sick the whole 2 weeks we were gone, and it was miserable for me. So I called my doctor back in Virginia and said, "Hey, you got to call me something in." I said, "I'm on the road. I'm trying to sing. I'm miserable." So they called me in at a local pharmacy. We was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, playing at Rodeo Nights. And that, from what I understand, that place is no longer there, but that was a big stepping place for a lot of up and coming artists to come in through there and play there. A lot of history at Rodeo Nights. And then we went on to Albuquerque and played, then come back through Grand Junction, Colorado, then headed back home. So
How long was that tour?
that was 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's a lot of driving for 2 weeks.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of.
Wow.
I think it was 14 shows, I think, lined up in that 2.5. It was 2.5 week period. It was 14 shows that lined up.
That's a lot of hustling, man.
Yeah, it is.
So do you think it was just the lack of humidity? Is that what it was?
Yes. And
Yeah.
being born and raised in Virginia, the humidity here is pretty high. So see during the summertime, but when we went out there, it was like no humidity. So my body didn't like it at all. So it was like, so if I go back again, I'll just drink a lot of water before I go.
Be prepared. Now you know.
Yeah.
Was it summertime when you did that tour?
Yeah, it was summer. Yeah.
Oh, that's even crazier. Yeah. Summer in Mexico.
Yeah.
But I had wrote down a couple of things I thought was pretty cool with my career. I was invited. I had a radio station DJ. Again, going around, I got a lot of radio station people that I know, and if I have a new song, I'll call them up and say, hey, I know you're governed by Nashville, but hey, can you throw this in and see what people say? And they'll play me, So I had a station over across the mountain, Harrisonburg, called me up and they said, hey, we want you to enter this competition it was the 34th annual Country Showdown, and it was a spinoff from the old Colgate Country Showdown. And I'm not a big thing on competitions like that, but I said, okay, I'll just entertain them. It was at the Shandor County Fair. And I went over there and I had to win two times to go to the state level. And I did. I won both of the local levels, went to the state level in New Jersey, and I won that.
Nice.
It was kind of cool. And then we went to the national and we lost by a local band. It was like the guy came up to me at the end and says, it was only one judge. It was a tie. It was 3 tiebreakers, and it was all tied up. And it was just one judge. He threw the vote towards the other person. And he said, you were so close.
So close.
Wow.
That is very close. That's really
That's
cool.
awesome, though. That's awesome.
But it was pretty cool. And so I try to not do a lot. And that, sometimes they'll call me to judge some of these competitions. It's kind of fun to be on the other end of it and judge somebody else. But it's kind of neat.
So did you just do one song and take it the whole time, or did you play a set, or how'd that work?
Well, I had to play 2 songs, and then they judged, and then I was doing original music too, because that was an extra 3 points, I think, if you did original music.
Oh, cool.
So you won at Shenandoah County Fair, and then you won in New Jersey. Was it the same 2 songs?
Yes, I used the same 2 sons.
All right. Wow. Wow.
And I think Brad Paisley, steel player, played on one. I had wrote a song called "Falling for You," because I met my wife, 11, 12 years ago, and it's funny because I came home from a date one night, and I got my guitar and by myself. And I'm like, I'm all fidgety, and I'm like, I can't eat, I can't sleep. All I do is think about you. That kind of came in my head, so I got my guitar out and I'm just got in a chord and start strumming. And next thing you know, I'm like, I wrote a song like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, pretty cool. So I sang it up there, and I guess that's what won the competition.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Brownie points. That had to help.
Yeah. It helped a whole lot. But I've gotten better songs. Not saying that's not a great song. It's a great song. But again, writing with somebody else, I think you kind of pull through both people, and me and Philip, he's just a great songwriter, man. I love him to death. And he's out of Steele, Alabama. And we went to the Josie Music Awards together when we were nominated and got to sit together. And so it was a lot of fun to hang out.
Does Philip play in a band as well?
He doesn't. He's more of just a songwriter. He's a great singer too. I tell him, I said, and he had a chance to maybe get a record deal in Nashville, but he turned it down because he wants to be a songwriter, not a singer.
Wow.
So does he write for other people as well, or just you and him?
He'll write for other people. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's got a publishing company in Nashville has hired him on to write songs for them. So,
wow, that's cool.
That's really awesome.
So he'll write songs or he'll even pitch some of our songs to the publishing company. So maybe if I get lucky enough and get one of them cut by one of the bigger guys, that's where the real money is at the songwriter. I mean, the singer has to do a lot of work to make the money, but the songwriter's work is writing it down and getting it to the person to sing it. And when they sing it like George Strait #1 song, you're gonna make a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then somebody else wants to cover it because he made a ton of money on that song. So then they cover it, then the songwriter gets it again, correct?
exactly. Yeah.
There you
And
go.
that's all right. What's the I guess in movies or in books or something, it's like 100 years before it becomes royalty free or whatever. What is it for a song?
I think it's 100 years. Maybe it's 60. I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't
All
know.
right. Yeah. Well, 60 years is a good run.
Yeah,
That's,
no kidding.
that's a good run to get paycheck. I won't complain. Heck yeah, man.
Well, it's funny because I've learned a lot trying to collect all the money I can as a songwriter, mechanical money and everything, and perform. And I just learned recently performance royalties. A lot of shows that I sing, because I'm a BMI writer out of Nashville, so I'm registered out of them. So I registered my songs all through Nashville. So if I submit my set list to them, what I play at the venue, then I get paid performance royalties.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
So I'll get paid more money if I write the song, obviously, and I'll still get paid if I do a cover, but more money comes to me if it's my song.
That's pretty cool. I never knew about that. That's neat. That's nice.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
trying-
you
Go
try to
ahead.
get all the pieces of the pie, and I didn't know all this either. I learned as I go along. I ask questions, and and when you meet people like I know another songwriter in Richmond, Virginia. Me and him talk a lot, and he's actually the one that told me about it. He said, "Man, do you got your song list submitted to the BMI thing for your performance royalties?" I said, "Well, they have my songs, but I don't submit my, if I go to the, wherever, Blue Ridge Cafe, hadn't been submitting my set list." But he said, "Do it because you get paid." So it's pretty
Yeah, no kidding. That's great. Cool.
What a backdoor thing that is.
Yeah.
Wow. Magic doesn't have that.
No.
Magic doesn't have that. No. Golly.
Well,
So,
maybe you need to sing a couple songs in your show, and then
Performance royalties.
I'm all right singer, but I match pitches. I'm not a front man. I was in chorus, so I was taught how to just match other people. I can't sing on my own. I can sing along to the radio, but
Can't harmonize.
that's all I can do. Right? That's all I can do.
You're going along with everybody.
See, she knows more than I do.
I can't harmonize.
So what are you looking to? What are you looking forward to in the future? What do you see in the future? What do you got planned coming up?
well, locally, I have a lot of fan base here in Greene and all in the Shandor Valley, Harrisonburg area, Grottoes, Bridgewater. That's where I got my start over there to build the fairs. They call them lawn parties over there, but the same thing as a fair. They just have a different name. And we played everyone over there: Rockingham County Fair, West Rockingham Fair, Folks Run, Matthias, McGackiesville, all of them places we played, and we got a fan base. But here lately, in the last probably 3 or 4 years, especially being on the road with Big Ray and the Cool Cats, I'm not local that much. But I do have an opportunity, since now the Blue Ridge Cafe in Ruckersville is having music now, and Lydia Mountain Lodge up on the mountain. So we have some local stuff coming up there. We're doing a show March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day at Lydia Mountain. So,
Oh, nice.
and that's just me and my bass player. We don't bring a full band. We do duo or solo and have a good show,
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about like on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, yes.
It's
I
just
do.
Tommy Wood.
Tommy Wood, yep. And I have a musician page and my regular page, and I kind of combine it all together. I kind of post on both pages. Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. It's hard to keep up with, but
Which Instagram?
Instagram, Tommy Wood, I think.
It's just at Tommy Wood. That's easy enough. All right.
I'll double check that, but again, I see it so often I don't even look at what it is, what it's set up as.
And your website's tommywood.net. So
Yes.
we'll send everybody there to check that out. Now, can they download your music there? What's on your website? Is your schedule?
The schedule there and some information. I think you can download there as well. Most of the download and streaming is on the digital outlets, and there's links on there as well. I have another page called the Indie Music Channel .com page, and I got a full website there too with everything on it, videos. We've been doing some videos, just clips of some of the new material. So, but TommyWood.net is real easy. You can go there, boom, and find most everything.
That's the hard part with us, trying to get the schedule up, because our schedule changes every day. Do you have a web person that does it for you? Or are you doing it all?
I do it all, and it's like I say, it's complicated because trying to find the time, and I don't just do music. I consider music full time, but on the side, especially during the summertime, I make and cut hay. when I'm not with the guitar man, I'm riding a tractor down through the farm field. And that's where one of my songs on my other record come from, called Making Hay.
Oh,
That was kind of cool that we did a little video on that too. It's kind of fun.
So is that your properties that you're maintaining, or is it other people?
Other people's property, some our property, and some other people that, because a lot of the farmers here have gone on or whatever, so they need people to take over. And my brother and his son-in-laws, got into the business about 3 years ago, and they wanted me to help out with it. And
yeah.
I grew up around that, so it's pretty easy.
You know what you're doing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Her dad's got 40 acres, and you need somebody to take care of it. So he just hires a guy to come out there, and he gives the guy the hay bales, I think,
Yeah,
just to do it for him.
the guy had an agreement with the people before, that lived there before my parents did, that he could grow and cut down the hay. So they just kept it with my parents. So they have a big old hay field in their acreage. Yep.
That's a good deal. They get the hay, but they maintain it for him, so he didn't have to cut all that grass.
Right.
And that's kind of what we have. We get to keep the hay and we maintain the field. So
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Nice.
Well, cool, man. Cool.
Good deal.
Dude, what else you got going on? We got like 10 minutes left, 8 minutes left. Yeah.
well, we got, like I said, the show's coming up, Lydia Mountain Lodge. You can check all that stuff on the website. I think Blue Ridge Cafe. I just spent last weekend in Berryville doing stuff with Big Ray, and most of his shows are corporate or private stuff, and we'll put that on the website. So somebody asked me the other day, why you put that on there if we can't come? I'm like, well, one main reason is so somebody know that I'm booked, because if not,
Right.
they'll try to book me, and I'm like, no, they can look at the website and see that. So
Yeah.
We do the same thing. Same
but the
reason.
biggest thing, my next step probably in my career, is we're working on that new Christmas record that we want to get out this Christmas. I call them albums, they, CDs, but it may be all digital by then. I'm not sure we'll even do a CD, but it'll be a full album for online. And then a country record that we're working on, that we've got the first single, but we're going to get ready to record that soon. So it's pretty exciting. I'm not going to say the name of it because.
So where do you do the recording at? Do you do it right there in your office, or where do you guys go to record?
Well, like I said early on, in my first record was in Nashville, but because I know everybody and the technology, like you said, I could do it in my office, but I'll start the songs, I'll go through the start of the process. I'll get my songwriter, we'll cut a demo of the song we create. So it's just a guitar vocal, and I'll send it over to Bobby McKee. He was in Nashville, but he lives now in Indiana. And I'll call him up and say, hey, I got a song coming at you. When can you cut me a acoustic track on it? So he'll cut the acoustic track on it, and then he'll send it back to me, and then I'll send it over to the drummer in his studio in Nashville. So we email it around.
Oh, wow.
So we're not in the same room. So we're kind of piecing this together as a puzzle. So when it all comes back, and it all comes back through my hub here, and then once I get everything, I send it over to Robbie Meadows and Lorray, and we start putting it together, and he'll start mixing it, and then I'll go in and cut the lead vocal over there. And his studio is called Hazard County Recording Studio.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We've never made it up there. They always do it on a Saturday, and we always have shows.
Yeah.
Well, I had an opportunity to be on the Shandor Jamboree for 1 year. That was really cool. And they had guest singers from Nashville that we opened up for. That was really, really nice to be a part of that. And meet Ben Jones. I grew up with the Dukes of Hazzard, and I'm sitting on the couch right beside Ben Jones talking just like we're talking.
Yeah.
And I got to meet Daisy Duke. I got my picture taken with her. I just posted it on Facebook. She had a birthday recently, Catherine Bach. So.
Wow. What is the blonde guy? I can't. It's the blonde guy.
Bo.
What was his real name? John
Schneider.
He was there probably the year that you were performing there, and I really wanted to go because I'm a big Superman fan. And he was Clark Kent's dad. He was Superman's dad in Smallville.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go just because of that. But I grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard as well, man. It came on. I watched it all the time when I was a kid. Heck, I got the DVDs and couldn't go, man. I had shows, and I was like, he's right there. Superman's dad's right there. I can get a picture with him, but I couldn't do it.
It's funny. Aaron Tippin, we was with a show with Aaron Tippin one time, and he came out with a song, I think Honky Tonk Superman, and he had a big Superman shirt on. It was kind of cool.
Oh, that's good. I have to look that up.
Yeah.
I don't know that song. Aaron Tippin.
Yeah, Aaron Tippman. Yeah, he don't do a lot now, I think. But back when we were doing a lot of trips to Nashville, and we would hang out in a lot of the green rooms during the things we were doing, country radio seminar. We attended a bunch of them, and we would just hang out with Bill Anderson, Ronnie Millsap, or whoever would be coming through. We would just chat with them, and it was fun.
So what's it like on those big tours, like with the Trace Adkins backstage? What's the green room like? Is it, I mean, because us, we're at this stage here where it could be literally a broom closet. It could literally be the audience is there and you're just hiding from them until you go on because there is nothing.
Well, most of the time, my experience was with Trace that we had a tour bus. That's all we had. There was no room at the venue, so we were hanging out on the bus, which the bus is like a house on wheels.
Yeah.
With TVs and everything. And at one time we were down in, I think it was Bristol, Virginia, and Alan Jackson's bus was in for some repair or something, and we were pulling in to get something fixed on our bus. And the guy comes off. He said, "Hey," and he introduced himself. He said, "I'm the Alan Jackson's bus driver. If y'all going and help yourself, we got snacks on the bus." I'm like, "Really?" So we got to go on the bus and eat some of Alan Jackson's food.
That's awesome, man. That's
so
awesome.
cool.
Did you get pictures? I would have got pictures of me eating his food.
I should have. Yeah, it was so just in awe of being there, I guess, on the bus. I should have. But
Dude, thank you so much for doing this tonight. Sorry, I'm like spacing out because I'm such a country music fan, but I don't know all the lingo and everything, and I'm really grasping at straws. I have a friend of mine that plays in bands. He's a magician, but he's a gun salesman. That's what he does for a living. He's a salesman for a gun company, but he's a hobbyist magician. He's got 75 guitars or more, and he's played in all these different bands. And I'm kicking myself because he's told me the story several times about a trick, just like you said, about submitting your set list to get paid. Because he got paid extra from one of the fraternities or one of the things when he did fraternities. Somehow he got extra money from somewhere else, but he didn't write music. It wasn't that. It was something else, and I can't. It's killing me. It's going to come to me.
He said you don't have to write the music for the performer royalty. You get paid more if you wrote the music, but you don't have to have.
So maybe that's what it was then. Maybe it was the performer royalty then, because he was performing that night.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it don't have to. If it's a cover song, you can still get paid money. It's just the percentage is less. So So I try to sing maybe all my original songs. I got quite a few, so I try to get many as I can in. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Maybe that's 100% what it was then. He knew that trick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway, dude, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I can't wait to see you on the road. We're going to check out your stuff. I'm going to download your songs. I can't wait to see your little girl singing with you.
Yeah.
And my wife had that idea for that duet.
He probably already had the idea. I just,
Well,
if you need me to help write something for you, just let me know.
that way you can get a little royalty money coming in.
No, I need something. I don't have royalties. I do my show. I'm done. That's it.
But the only problem is, man, the more money you make, the more you got to pay out.
That's true. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. And hopefully we'll get the same venue, and I'll open for you guys. That'd be great.
There you go. And heck, we'll get you a hangout in our little RV. We got
it won't be as cool as Alan Jackson's, but we have snacks.
We do have snacks.
Love snacks.
Dude, we'll talk. We'll get you on our we'll have you at least open for us at some point. Let's do that. He's local. That'd be great.
That would be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Let's do it. I think we figured out something.
But then you gotta hang around for after so we can hang out.
We'll rent out William Monroe High School or something, and we'll just do a fundraiser show.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Well, somebody called me the other day about a fundraiser. There's a local person who has breast cancer, and she's having a hard time. She owns the Country Line Merchant down here on 29, the old Windmill Market. She's going through cancer treatment, and I was called the other day about doing a show. So who knows?
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
We'll figure out something.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for everything, man. TommyWood.net. Check out his music. Dude, 2 #1 hits, a #5 hit. It's on the indie charts, but dude, this guy's going places.
Yeah.
Check him out. TommyWood.net. Thank you, Tommy. Only one more thing left for us to say, man. See you next week.
Take care.
Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled Wesiseli.